Hello everyone, Eric Nesbitt with the law offices of Eric L. Nesbitt PC. And like many of you, I am working from home. We are all dealing with the pandemic of this coronavirus 19. One of the questions that I continue to hear over the last week from many of my real estate law clients is whether they can invoke the force majeure clause of their commercial lease, and in some cases, their residential lease. And some of you may have heard the term force majeure. It really means an act of God that prohibits parties to a contract from performing as they should. So it derives from a French word which means a superior force. And when we talk about force majeure, we're really talking about strikes, government orders that prohibit people from going out like we have now, work stoppages, many of the things that we're facing in our country now. So the question is whether those events constitute a force majeure that will allow one party not to perform under the contract. Every case is different, but in general, most tenants are not going to be able to utilize the force majeure clause because those savvy landlords in many cases will have a carve out that says even if there is a force majeure event, it doesn't forgive the tenant from paying rent. It may stop other obligations under the lease from a timing standpoint. Let's say an insurance certificate is due and it's not provided to the landlord on time. That might constitute something that can be delayed based on the event. But the payment of rent in most instances is not something that is going to fall under the force majeure to give the tenant the flexibility not to pay. However, there are instances where you can it still may be wise to go and approach your landlord to see if they may be willing to work with you on a forbearance of rent, maybe moving, not charging rent for the next 30, 60 days and doing a forbearance and putting that rent on the end of the lease, or maybe even a lease modification to help with some of the challenges that commercial tenants and residential tenants are facing now. So those are my thoughts on force majeure. If you have questions on that, feel free to contact me. I can be reached at 303-741-2354. You can always go to our website. We have many blogs that discuss real estate issues, both residential and commercial. The address there is www.nesbittlawoffices.com. And please be safe and continue to quarantine and help each other out, and we will get through this as soon as possible.